Hospital dramas have been putting white coats on the silver screen for decades. The good deeds, or otherwise, of doctors, surgeons, and nurses can pull at heartstrings, set pulses racing, or make the blood boil, depending on the character in question and the role being played. Patients, too, are often central to a medical movie plotline. So, what film is good or bad for your health, and who's your favorite physician? Please comment below. Let's go through the video and make your own diagnosis. Awakenings in 1990. Robin Williams plays Dr. Malcolm Sayer, a fictional character based on neurologist Oliver Sacks, whose memoir of the same name this drama is based on. Sacks discovered beneficial effects of the drug L-Dopa after administering it to catatonic patients. In the movie, Leonard Lowe, Robert De Niro, is one of several patients awakened from their state of psychomotor immobility by Dr. Sayer. The Hospital in 1971. George C. Scott stars as Dr. Herbert Bach in this satirical medical drama that sees the overburdened Bach's life falling apart, along with the hospital he works in. Furthermore, the hospital is dealing with the sudden deaths of 2 doctors and a nurse, with murder appearing as the probable cause. Coma in 1978. Dr. Susan Wheeler, Genevieve Bujold, surgery resident at Boston Memorial Hospital, becomes aware of an unnatural amount of comas occurring in her hospital. Investigating further, she uncovers a terrible conspiracy. Feeling isolated and threatened, she wonders if she can trust her own partner and colleague, Dr. Mark Meadows, Michael Douglas. Something the Lord Made in 2004. Alan Rickman stars as Dr. Alfred Blaylock in this made-for-television biographical drama film that examines Blaylock's complex and often volatile partnership with the Black cardiac pioneer Vivian Thomas at Johns Hopkins Hospital. Blaylock and Thomas were noted for their work on the medical condition known as Blue Baby Syndrome. Patch Adams in 1998. Based on the life story of American physician Dr. Hunter Patch Adams, this movie stars Robin Williams as Adams, who changes the way doctors think and treat their patients using humor and pathos. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest in 1975. Nurse Mildred Ratched, Louise Fletcher, casts a critical eye over Randall McMurphy, Jack Nicholson, and Hap Arlick, Ted Markland, in a scene from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Dead Ringers in 1988. David Cronenberg's creepy psychological thriller stars Jeremy Irons in a dual role as identical but duplicitous twin gynecologists. When patient Claire Niveau, Genevieve Bujold, enter their lives, the deceit starts to unravel. Whose life is it anyway? In 1981. Sculptor Ken Harrison, Richard Dreyfuss, paralyzed from the neck down after a car accident, seeks to have his life legally terminated. Dr. Emerson, John Cassavetes, however, is staunchly opposed to euthanasia. Meanwhile, Harrison's sympathetic physician develops personal feelings for him and wants to keep him alive. Ultimately, though, it's up to a judge whether the patient has a moral, ethical, and legal right to choose to die. The Doctor in 1991. Self-centered Dr. Jack McKee, William Hurt, is devastated when he learns he has cancer. But as he comes to terms with his illness and commences treatment, Dr. McKee undergoes a transformation in his views about life, illness, and human relationships. No Way Out in 1950. Made in 1950, this edgy film noir stars Sidney Poitier in his big screen debut as Luther Brooks, a doctor tending to slum residents whose ethics are tested when confronted with racism. Ray Biddle, Richard Widmark, is one of those whose hate and prejudice towards the physician is particularly vicious. Doc Hollywood in 1991. This romantic comedy stars Michael J. Fox as Dr. Benjamin Ben Stone, an aspiring surgeon who ends up working at a hospital in a rural backwater town before ending up in Beverly Hills. However, Tinseltown's superficiality soon leaves Ben yearning for small-town country life again, and for the girl he left behind. The Fugitive in 1993. Framed for the murder of his wife and unjustly sentenced to death, Dr. Richard Kimball, Harrison Ford, escapes from custody and sets out to prove his innocence while at the same time avoiding recapture by U.S. Marshal Samuel Gerard, Tommy Lee Jones, and his crack team of law enforcement officers. County Hospital in 1932. Laurel and Hardy end up in another fine mess in this rib-tickling short film. Ollie is in hospital with a broken leg. Stan comes to visit, but both get kicked out by a doctor after misbehaving. Stan attempts to drive Ollie home, but only succeeds in steering them both into more trouble. Carry On Doctor in 1967. The 15th in a series of 31 British Carry On comedy films, 1958 to 1992. Carry On Doctor features an assortment of patients who side with popular Dr. Kilmore, Jim Dale, sacked after being found in a compromising position with a nurse. Mirth and mayhem ensue, of course. Extreme Measures in 1996. Dr. Guy Luthen, Hugh Grant, ends up becoming embroiled with an underground medical organization led by Dr. Lawrence Myrick, Gene Hackman, who carries out experimental and highly unethical spinal operations on homeless people in order to find a cure for paralysis. Not as a Stranger in 1955. Aspiring physician Lucas March, Robert Mitchum, is indifferent towards his nurse wife Christina, Olivia de Havilland, and others around him, including best friend and fellow Dr. Alfred Boone, Frank Sinatra. The film follows their attempts to humanize the self-serving March and teach him that all doctors sometimes make mistakes. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in 1920. John Barrymore stars as Dr. Henry Jekyll and as Mr. Edward Hyde in this early silent film adaptation of the 1886 novella Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. The Diving Bell and the Butterfly in 2007. The true story of Jean-Dominique Bobby, who after suffering a massive stroke was left in a condition known as locked-in syndrome. The Diving Bell and the Butterfly follows an almost completely paralyzed Bobby, Matthew Amalric, and the relationship he develops with his speech and language therapist. Amazingly, Bobby was eventually able to dictate his memoir using just the blink of an eye. John Q. in 2002. John Quincy Archibald, Denzel Washington, and his wife Denise, Kimberly Elise, are informed by cardiologist Dr. Raymond Turner, James Woods, that their son requires an urgent heart transplant. However, the couple's health insurance will not cover the cost of the surgery. John Q takes matters into his own hands. Side effects in 2013. Psychiatrists Dr. Jonathan Banks, Jude Law, and Dr. Victoria Siebert, Catherine Zeta-Jones, are treating Emily, Rooney Mara, pictured, with prescribed experimental drugs. The side effects, however, prove unexpected and ultimately devastating. Flatliners in 1990. 5 medical students, including Rachel Manus, Julia Roberts, attempt to find out what lies beyond death by conducting clandestine experiments that produce near-death experiences. However, the dark consequences of past tragedies come back to haunt them. Aerosmith in 1931. Dr. Martin Aerosmith, Ronald Coleman, is sent to the West Indies, where a virulent outbreak of bubonic plague has arisen. The doctor administers a serum to the infected islanders, but has no idea if the vaccine will work. Critical condition in 1987. Con man Kevin Linehan, Richard Pryor, poses as Surgeon Dr. Eddie Slattery at a local hospital and ends up taking charge of patients and procedure in a most unorthodox way. The Men in 1950. Marlon Brando's film debut sees him playing Ken Willowack, a World War II lieutenant seriously injured in combat and recovering in hospital. In order to prepare for the role, the actor admitted himself to Birmingham General Army Hospital in Van Nuys, California, the hospital used in the film, and also spent a lot of time in a wheelchair. Young Dr. Kildare in 1938. One of the best-known screen doctors, the character Dr. Kildare appeared in a total of 9 films. Lou Ayres portrays the eponymous physician in all 9, starting with young Dr. Kildare. He's seen here with actress Lynn Carver in a publicity still for the film. Awake in 2007. Terrence Howard plays Dr. Jack Harper, a heart surgeon with murder on his mind in this intriguing conspiracy thriller. Will he get away with it? Hayden Christensen and Jessica Alba co-star. Doctor at Large in 1957. The Doctor series of British films, made in the 1950s and early 60s, proved popular entertainment. Dirk Bogarde starred in 4 of the 7 productions as Dr. Simon Sparrow, seen here in Doctor at Large, the 3rd in the series. Which was your favorite movie? Please comment below. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe for more information.